Can two narcissists be together? Today's question comes from Amanda Hunter, one of my viewers, who wants to know whether her husband, who has now moved on to a new supply, could possibly be with a narcissist, or if he could also be a narcissist. You'll see. Let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. If that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. But first, do you have your coffee? Today I'm using my Queen Bean coffee cup, one of my favorites. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to read you this question from Amanda really quickly. She says, "Hello Angie, how can I tell if my husband is a narcissist or if he is the new supply to his narcissistic partner? I was married to my husband for 27 years, and right up until the last minute before he discarded me for her, I believed we had a happy, loving, and honest relationship. When he left, I discovered that he had taken all of our money and run up lots of debts in our joint names, even stealing my earnings, all to fund a credit card on which he spent thousands of pounds on his affair. He left me absolutely distraught and destitute, but I am making slow progress to recover. I realized he has been gaslighting me for the last 3 years by encouraging me to believe that my memory was failing in order to cover up his affair and what he was doing with our money. I genuinely believed I was developing early onset dementia, but when I eventually went to my doctor and had the tests done, the results were that my memory is fine. 6 months ago, he made a brutal announcement and left me and moved straight in with his new woman. It was like a switch had been flipped on his personality, and he changed from being a nice, loving man into a cruel and callous stranger. It had been breathtaking, and now he is claiming that I was always volatile and violent toward him, but I wasn't. My husband fits all the characteristics and behaviors that you describe as a narcissist, but I've heard from other people, including his new woman's husband, that she is a serious manipulator and has also used gaslighting. I am absolutely shattered by what has happened to me, and from my discoveries and the way he is behaving in our divorce, I am also worried that my husband has become a narcissist's new supply. Does this happen, that someone who is a narcissist can become a narcissist's new supply? Thank you." Okay, let's answer that question. So let's start with discussing narcissistic traits. Just to review, it is a pattern that happens in certain personality types. You see the grandiosity in whether the fantasy or the behavior of the person, an excessive need for admiration and attention, a serious lack of empathy, which in my opinion is the hallmark of a narcissistic personality, someone who lacks empathy for the people in their life, people they love, people in general, unwilling or unable to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of other people is what empathy or lack thereof would be. Big sense of self-importance, big sense of entitlement, exaggerating achievements and talents, will exploit other people in their lives, envious of other people, worried that other people are envious of them, etc., etc., etc. So we know they show arrogant behaviors, they're haughty, they're bad attitudes, all of these things, right? Okay, so that is what a narcissist is. Now, based on what Amanda said, she thinks that her ex-husband is a narcissist and possibly his current girlfriend or supply. Is it possible for two narcissists to be together? Since I don't know these people personally, I have to assume that you are accurate in your assessment of them. There are studies that say that narcissists tend to be attracted to other narcissists sometimes as life partners, business partners, friends, etc. But like all personality disorders, here's the thing. There's a spectrum. Like say on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most severe, you may have someone who is seriously narcissistic and running the show, and then you may have someone who is less narcissistic. So I think the tipping point comes where the empathy comes in. So if you've got two people who have no empathy for each other, that's not going to work very well. What'll happen is a lot of times you'll get a severe narcissist and then a less narcissistic person, and one will become the cheerleader and one will become the primary narcissist in the relationship. So one possibility is that the female in this relationship could be histrionic, where she tends to constantly seek approval or reassurance about herself, or she is excessively sensitive to criticism and she might have low tolerance for frustration or delayed gratification. There's different types of narcissists, but I think what we're dealing with here is something a little different. So while it seems that people who are more overt in their narcissism tend to be mistrustful and competitive with other overt narcissists, I've seen where certain overt and covert narcissists can actually get along. So in many cases, they are drawn to each other, as each seems to need the other to provide certain essential ingredients, for the narcissistic supply. Now, my guess is in your case that your narcissist, I mean, if you're saying to me that you've had a happy, amazing marriage for all these years, let me double check what you said here. So you said to me that for 27 years, right up until the last minute before he discarded you, you believed you two had a happy, loving, and honest relationship. Now, the thing about that is that if it really felt like that to you, then chances are your husband might not be a narcissist. But then later you say that he had been gaslighting you for the last 3 years by encouraging you to believe that your memory was failing in order to cover up his affair. If he treated you well for 27 years and you thought that you had a happy, honest, and loving relationship, chances are that he has been duped by this person. But then you say that he's been gaslighting you for the last 3 years, in which case, maybe, is it possible that your relationship wasn't as happy and healthy as you thought it was, and that you were being duped all along, and maybe when you started to catch on to the lies, he started to turn up the volume? I don't know. These are things to think about. The fact that you said you genuinely believed you were developing early onset dementia tells me that it's possible that you were being gaslighted longer than you thought, or at least lied to longer than you thought you were. Can someone who is a narcissist become another narcissist supply? Yes, as long as they're two different types of narcissists. I think the main point in relationships is how they're treating each other. So if the narcissists are getting along and everything's fine, then I'm sure everything's fine. But the fact of the matter is that it's unlikely that they'll get along for long if they do. An overt narcissist is looking for fans, looking for people to adore them, looking for the attention, the compliments, all the good stuff like this. And so the substance of that person's agenda comes down to it being situational. It is not based on heartfelt belief. It is not, it's subconsciously determined based on the desire to get more supply, to maximize narcissistic supply. So an overt narcissist is someone who will draw a lot of crowds, get a lot of attention, they're the people who are the center of attention at every party, right? Whereas the covert narcissist, the hidden secret narcissist, the introverted narcissist, they tend to have some passion about something. Like, for example, they may have a particular topic or something that they feel really strongly about, and they tend to be more spontaneous in certain ways, which can sometimes allow them to be almost a vulnerable narcissist. We've talked about that before. So the covert narcissist, because they have passion for something, they tend to be seen as someone with emotional ability. They almost sometimes mimic an empath. I'm guessing that your husband might be a covert narcissist if he wasn't confrontational with you in the marriage. This is a difficult situation. Ultimately, if one of them is covert and one of them is overt, they could build a strong relationship as romantic partners. But look, the fact is, if she left her husband for him and he left you for her, it doesn't usually work out very well for people like that. You know, once a cheater, always a cheater, as they say. I want to tell you to be happy that you that you're not with your narcissist anymore. I want to tell you to take this and embrace it and make it your new, exciting, awesome life. I want to tell you to stop crying about this person, because obviously you were lied to for a lot of years. So why should you continue to be abused by someone who doesn't deserve you, my friend? I would tell you to look at this as a blessing in disguise. And the next time, you have to deal with him, keep it all straight business. Don't give him one more moment of your emotion, at least not that he sees. And then I want you to work on letting go of some of the pain. And I know it's very hard. 27 years is, probably your entire adult life. And it's such a difficult place to walk away from at this point. But my friend, it is what it is. If you take him back, if he tries to hoover you, which is possible, it will happen again and again and again. Stand your ground. Don't let him hurt you. Don't let him keep coming back to you. Remember that you deserve to be treated with love and respect no matter what. Ultimately, can two narcissists be together? Sure. Will it work? Only if one of them is an inverted narcissist who literally needs another narcissist to function and survive in the world. Hope that's helpful. I would need to ask you some questions. I would want to ask you more questions about their personalities to give you a better answer than this. I'm going to wrap up. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll see you soon. I'll be here today for another video. Oh, and don't forget, today at 1 p.m. I'll be going live for Talk to Me Tuesday. So if you have questions you want to ask, come on in and talk to me, and we'll get it done. Amanda, if you see this video in time, come talk to me Talk to Me Tuesday and answer some of those questions for me. Tell me more about their personalities, and let's round it out for you, okay? All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. As always, thank you for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. See you soon. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body. Take care of your soul. Nurture the real you and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot. Take it now. And the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.